Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Lakeburg Legacies. When we left off in the previous episode, we had a budding love between two very unexpected people. One of them was Bjorn, our homeless seamster, and the other was Loop. Loop, our 46-year-old hunter who is in a loveless marriage with his farming wife Colette, and, he is supposed to be somewhat of a role model to his stepson Valerius, who is the apprentice seamster. Wait. Hold on a second. Guys, back up, because this is a connection I did not see in the last episode. I did not see this connection. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you why I'm surprised. So, you're telling me that Loop's stepson, Valerius, is Bjorn's, apprentice, and that's how Bjorn and Loop got to know each other. Because we had an event happen in the last episode where Loop, whose heart had apparently dried a long time ago in his marriage, he kind of found his heart beating again after he met Bjorn, and he was starting to fall in love with Bjorn, and he was actually wondering whether or not he should leave his wife for Bjorn. But in the end, he kind of decided that even if it would make him sad, he can't let go of Colette because being with her provides him with a sense of, safety and security and a roof over his head and a bed to sleep in. He did not want to be homeless on the streets for his love with Bjorn. So he and Bjorn could have gotten married if he had left his wife, but he chose not to. And I was wondering, where the hell did Loop and Bjorn meet each other? How did he meet the seamster when he works at the hunter's cabin? Now I know! It's because his stepson is apprentice to Bjorn. So he must have been walking his stepson to and from, the sewing workshop, maybe back to home. Who knows? They must have been doing something like that. And then over time, he met Bjorn, he got to know Bjorn. And then the more time he spent, it started being less for his stepson and more for the stepson's mentor, who he fell in love with. Oh my goodness. Honestly, the men in Lakeburg are an absolute mess. The men are an absolute mess because we've got that thing happening, and then Slavomir apprenticed his son to the guy he was having an affair with, at the mason's workshop. Everyone's just all the fathers are using their sons as a way to mask their affairs with their sons' mentors. It is wild. But that aside, we also had, I think, a few babies born actually. At this point, we're starting to grow enough that I am crisscrossing all the babies that we're having. I think we had Nathan not too long ago, and then we had Olive, and then we had Lucius. So we actually had 3 babies born recently. 1 girl in Olive, and then 2 boys in Nathan and Lucius. So yeah, it is getting a little bit harder to track them. We also saw the arrival of Gonora Wycliffe, our 22-year-old lumberjack, who is the 3rd lumberjack we now have in that lodge. She has yet to have a house built for herself, so that is something we need to work on. And then once she has a house, we'll be able to find her husband. We need 92 wood for that. So let's actually get going. Oh, and while we're gathering wood, kind of keep track on some of this a little bit as well. Lysander and Ursula, I think their marriage is struggling a little bit, because now they're back to being infatuated. Meanwhile, Douglas and Theodora, their marriage is also struggling a little bit after the birth of their son Lucius. And then Theodora and Brynja. Hold on a second. Brynja and... Where is Theodora? Theodora and Brynja, our 2 masons, are now apparently proper rivals. So things in the mason's workshop is not going too well. Okay, good to know. Okay, we have enough to build a new house. So go ahead and do that in a second. But, the Frost family, they're struggling in their marriage. These 2, Anne and Theodoric. And then the Brill family has just welcomed in, I think, a little girl? Oh, look at that! We have Othild. Little Othild. I might change... It's a little girl, nice. I might change name. Let's go ahead and see. Sapphire Brill. That's actually a pretty name. This is going to be Sapphire Brill. And she is well-mannered, a little well-mannered girl. She has her mother's hair, her father's skin, and her father's eyes. Okay, and then she has, oh, look at that, actress, painter, blacksmith. She has blacksmith potential, though. That is good. That's going to be important for us in the future. But she seems like an intellectual little girl, which is adorable. And she was born an artisan because both her parents are artisans. That's so cute. So, so cute. In terms of her preferences, she likes public executions, fishing, and fashion. She dislikes meditation, kittens, and feasting. Okay, okay. Good to know, good to know. So little Sapphire has joined us, and now population in terms of like the males and females we have is starting to, I think, be a bit more balanced, although we do have more little boys than girls. But let's go ahead and build a house for Ganora so she can start or establish the Wycliffe family. And then we need to get her a husband. And it seems, yeah, these guys are rivals. They became rivals like over at the bakery. They took a lunch break. The Masons, they went over, took a lunch break, probably getting Brynjar to visit his wife at the bakery, bought some bread, and realized on the way back that they didn't really like each other. And then, unfortunately, Douglas and Theodora are now in a loveless marriage. The other Mason and Douglas the blacksmith. Oh no. I actually wonder, maybe Theodora and Brynjar, who work together, they went across the bridge to visit their spouses because Theodora's husband works at the forge behind the bakery, so she must have taken like a lunch break and went to visit Douglas. And then Brynjar's wife works at the bakery, so he probably went to actually buy some things from the bakery to eat and visit his wife as well, because his lover Loop has been a bit too distracted with the sewing workshop. He's been too distracted with Bjorn, so he hasn't been visiting, I think, Brynjar at the Mason's workshop, which gives Brynjar time to go visit his wife. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, well, we need to go ahead, and I think we want Ganora to find a match. So let's go and see who she finds. Oh, it's a bad match. Okay, hold on. Before we do this, I realized I didn't take a look at the vacancies we have. I think it's still the Rat Nest and the Pleasure House. Yeah, the Rat Nest and the Pleasure House. Okay, well, let's take a look. So this is Aric. He's 28 years old, so a little bit older. Peasant class. He is social, proud, and indecisive. Okay. And he's also weak. I don't think we've had anyone that's like weak. Prankster, Seamster, Gatherer, so he has like Seamster potential. Okay, so we'd have to kind of extend the sewing workshop for him. Okay, well, I mean, he likes divination, dueling, and painting, so they have something to contend on. And he dislikes fishing, mussels, and treats. Well, they have they've got a plus, I think overall 3% affinity because of Aric's social trait. It cancels out the meanness that Ganora has. So let's see how this goes. I mean, he's a very nice looking guy. But let's see how this goes. Oh, this is interesting. So apparently it says plus 25% of love per successful date. Oh yeah. Interesting. So I mentioned this quite a few episodes back about how when you see the love bar during the wedding, you have like the 4 bars, and I said that you could probably only have a max of 3 because you only have 3 dates. Apparently that is the case because it says here, plus 25% of love per successful date, max is 75%. Interesting. You have to develop the extra one, within the marriage. Okay, let's go on a date. We'll start off at the tavern. So we could say there is an absolutely charming fishing spot not far from here. We'll relish in the latest rumors circulating Lakeburg. We're going to relish in the rumors. Ganora and Aric thoroughly enjoy gossip so long as the rumors aren't about them. And then we're gonna go to the Hill by Moonlight. We could share the recipe for nougat with dried fruits, or we could talk about the importance of big cuddles in a loving relationship. We'll go with big cuddles, not a problem. Aric is all for it. Say, why not start like right now? And then we're gonna end off with a boat ride by the lake. You could criticize those barbarians who see dueling as a pleasant hobby, while everyone knows that big muscles imply a small brain. We're gonna insult the big muscles. And a tiny. Aric doesn't end his sentence, but Gunora got the message. And it's a match. I guess I'm not surprised. But this is a bad. I mean, they've got bad affinity, but they somehow have, oh my goodness, they love meters at 3. I have never had anyone with bad affinity be this successful at their dates. Wow. Well, these two are getting married. I have no idea how this is going to go. It's going to go somehow. Well, Aric, let's go ahead and get you settled in as a seamster, hopefully. Okay, we need to save up on wood, basically. I mean, right now they're in love. We need to save up on wood so we can get him his job. And I might... Oop, okay. So we can open up a slot. He is going to be the third guy working in the sewing workshop. And it seems as though the ambience is still pretty bad because Bjorn and Evrad do not like each other. Aric, unfortunately, is not able to balance things out just yet. Oh, okay. So the Masons have just become enemies. I'm pretty sure we have enemies at the Hunter's Cabin. We have, like, what's the most extreme version of enemies at the bakery? What is it? Marie, sworn enemy. There we go. We have a sworn enemy, sworn enemies at the bakery, and now we have enemies at the Mason's workshop. This is ridiculous. How does this kingdom function? I don't even know how this kingdom functions at this point. And then Douglas and Theodora's marriage is not doing too well. We're not too surprised on that front. Yeah, not very surprised at all. Actually, I am kind of curious to see how the Brill family and the Wycliffe family are doing. Kind of want to check up on them. So let's take a look, because I don't think we got to see like how their marriage is going. So they have average affinity, but they were like quick on having a kid. So they got married, I think a couple episodes ago. Wanting to brag, Ursula got wounded defending Lysander, who was perfectly capable of defending himself alone. Yikes. Ew, Ursula sneezed on Lysander. Ew, Ursula has foul breath today. Oh my goodness, Ursula. No. No, Ursula. No, no, no. And then so they didn't have a good start to the marriage at all. And then things changed. Because according to the fortune teller, Ursula and Lysander are still made for each other. So that probably kind of changed things around for them, because then Ursula and Lysander found a new passion for kittens, and then they were up chatting all night, probably about said kittens, and then they had a little bit of a bump. It turns out that Ursula went on their first date with Lysander to win a bet, and Lysander agreed because of a dare, so they didn't have kind of good intentions when they first started out, and then Lysander hates all of Ursula's friends. But then they probably kind of resolved that a little bit, because then Lysander told a funny joke, and it seems as though they started off with a rough patch. Things turned around for a little bit, and then they went through another rough patch, but it seems as though somehow they're managing to kind of overcome all of that. Okay, so the Brill family is somehow working. Meanwhile, this family, Aric finds Gunora's new passion rather embarrassing. What passion? I mean, I don't know, but that's kind of interesting. So they're off to, obviously, a very, very rough start with the two of them. Okay, yikes. Yikes. Well, we're going to continue gathering our various resources. Okay, what have we been seeing? Evrad and Drusilla. Where are these guys? Evrad and Drusilla are madly in love, so their relationship is actually going really well. Our lumberjack and our seamster. I feel like Drusilla Knapp has been very, very quiet. Like, ever since she moved in, we haven't really heard much from her or about her. Very kind of invisible, I feel. She kind of keeps her head down, does her job, doesn't really get involved with anyone. No drama, no rumors, no nothing. In fact, the women of Lakeburg have been quite grounded. I'm not gonna lie. The only one with any amount of drama is probably Raymonda, because of all the divorces she's been having. And then Eberolf and Hubert don't like each other. The two farmers, yeah, they're not getting along well. Yeah, our two farmers don't like each other as well. And then let's see, iron. We don't have... No, we do. We have enough gold to increase the stocks for iron. That's going to be very useful for us. Okay, let's continue onwards. Okay, Everett and Drusilla are in love. They were madly in love, so something is not right. Okay, hold on a second. Brynja and Slavomir have a romantic relationship, which we kind of knew they had. But yeah, it's like their romantic relationship is just getting more and more intense, it seems. So Slavomir had that he had a brief dalliance, apparently, with Bjorn. But that was, they played Dungeons and Dragons, and that was it. They role played a bit, and that was it. And then it seems as though Brynja, he was spending time with his wife, who he has a perfect match with, so that's so sad. Yeah, he was spending time with her because Slavomir wasn't giving him the time of the day, but it seems as though they've rekindled whatever's going on between the two of them. And then he has Eloise, his daughter, who he has like an excellent relationship with. And then he has his student, Chris, who he has a good relationship with. And then his enemy and co-worker, Theodora. Okay. And then, hold on a second, we have some stuff going on over here. Valerius has aged up. He's 12 years old, guys. Look at him. This is Valerius, guys. Look at him, Valerius Korb, our energetic and ill-mannered little boy, our little 12-year-old, who has an average relationship with his mother. So even though he lives with his mother, he doesn't really have a great relationship with his mother. He loves his dad. Is the perfect match with his dad, gets along well with him to like an amazing extent. However, his dad is homeless. And you know what? Maybe because of how close he is with his dad, he doesn't like the fact that his father is homeless because of his mother. I mean, his parents, you know, they both agreed to divorce one another because they weren't happy together. But still, maybe he doesn't like the fact that his mother still gets to, you know, in this society, like, keep the house, be so comfortable, even though that comfort has been extended to him so far, but his father doesn't get that. To be fair, though, his father did have a second marriage, and he just couldn't kind of make it work, so it's kind of on him. And then he has a really bad relationship with his mentor. Oh, wow. So yeah, he does not get along well with Bjorn. Interesting. I wonder if Valerius, because we were saying how Loop probably got to know Bjorn because Bjorn, you know, is Valerius's mentor. So I wonder if Valerius, he doesn't actually, like, he dislikes his mentor even more, because even though he has not as great of a relationship with his mother, it's not a bad relationship, and he hates that his mentor got involved with his stepfather and almost caused his mother to get divorced. Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably why he dislikes Bjorn so much. Yikes. Okay, well, drama. Okay, let's keep an eye. And the Olwen family, what do they mean? Doesn't have enough room to accommodate a child. What do they mean? Because Chris, unless it's telling us that because maybe Beatrice and Slavomir want to have another kid. Is that what they're telling me? They want to have another kid, but they don't have enough room to have another kid? Well, population control, guys. We don't want another child right now. I am happy for one child per household because, yes, we need to control our population. We don't want to get too overwhelmed. I'm already getting overwhelmed over here. It's kind of wild, though, that I didn't realize this until now, but Eberolf He's reached 45 years old. His hair has like turned gray. He's starting to get up there in age, guys. He's starting to get like old, become part of our older population. Oh, Aberylf. Aberylf. Okay, well, let's continue. Oh, look, we can barter, we can do recruitment and stuff now. So we could introduce another couple in. Okay, we'll do bartering, get some gold, give away some of our wood, our precious wood. But you know what? I think we might leave the recruitment for the next episode. Yeah. I think that's what we'll do. Because we just got Ganora and Aric, and I kind of want to let the Wycliffe family settle in. We had, you know, a baby born and everything with Sapphire, so we've had some things happen. We unraveled some of the relationships and history between like Loop and Bjorn a bit more. So yeah, I think, you know, we got some stuff done. But okay guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.